There you go now, fellas. Here we go. Bump the phone. We've got the Revel Russian Imperial Stout. Now, these guys are in the middle of Oxford Street, a place called Balimbo. Proudly independent. And this is looking like it's going to be a beauty. Look at the colour of that, fellas. You're kidding. We're looking at 3 standard drinks, 10.5%, and looks like a 375ml can, which is always nice. 41 Oxford Street, Balimba, Queensland. You're kidding. I thought it was Oxford Street in Sydney. Balimbo. Where the fuck's Balimbo? You're kidding. Cheers, guys. Wow. Rich, malty, tiny bit of licorice. Chocolatey. Very malty. Lovely beer. Lovely Russian Imperial Stout. They're calling it the king of beers. Well, it is pretty bloody kick-ass. You don't want to be having 6 of these. Maybe 5. 18 standard drinks. If you drink 6, it'd be 21 standard drinks. It'd be more than having a bottle of scotch. You know what that does to you. I always would get down to the last bit of a bottle, and yeah, I wouldn't drink it many times and I'd wake up alright, but if I drank the whole bottle, ooh, nasty the next morning. So I reckon it'd be the same with these. You'd have 4, maybe 5. You'd be not real good the next day if you had 6, definitely. Takes you bloody 1 hour to get rid of 1 standard drink. So it's going to take me 3 hours to get rid of these. You're kidding. Better not be driving. Lovely beer, something different. I don't think I've had a Revel beer before. I don't know how long these guys have been around. But brewed in Queensland? Shitsville? Another good beer? You're kidding. Tezza, you'll be loving this, wouldn't you? You're kidding. All those Queensland beers. It's not Shitsville anymore. It's Shitsville down here all of a sudden. How's the latest? All the medical staff in Sydney don't have to have the boosters. But Victoria wants to change the definition of vaccinations to 3 shots, including the booster. You got to have the booster, otherwise you're not fully vaccinated and you won't be able to go to restaurants and pubs and nightclubs. I think this is getting a bit ridiculous. It doesn't work on Omicron. There's new variants coming, and like the figure in New South Wales yesterday was 125 fully vaccinated, double vaxxed or triple vaxxed in hospital, in ICU, and there was only 15 unvaccinated. And if you work it out by how many unvaccinated are out there and how many vaccinated are out there, well, I'd say it'd be close to 50 to 60% are fully vaxxed, because look at all the kids that aren't vaxxed. You know, heaps of kids aren't vaxxed, and we've got mostly kids in this country. I think we've got 50% of the whole country is under 18. And I don't think a lot of them have had the vax. So when they're telling you we're 92% fully vaxxed in New South Wales, they're talking absolute rubbish. In the adult population, yes. In the whole population, nowhere near it. So what it comes down to is there's more in ICU from double vaxxed, booster vaxxed than unvaxxed. And they want you to have more shots and weaken your immune system. You're fucking kidding me. What a fucking scam. Oh well, I got a mate, his nurse wife is thinking of not going back to work next week because she's been mandated to have it. And I think it's sinister because she had health problems after the second shot, like my wife, heart playing up, lethargic, feeling sick, the whole lot. Took weeks or months to get over it, and now they've got to do it all again for nothing. They reckon it protects you from getting it serious. Well, the numbers don't say that, and they twist the numbers. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. Alright, well that's the Revel, and I've got that shit off my chest. Feel better, and I don't know, all those people I know that have had the booster lately, they've been sick as dogs. And one guy I know, he looked pretty good for his age. He looked about 60, he's about 65. I looked at him a couple of days ago, he looked 75. And he's had a lot of trouble since the booster. And other guys the same. And I was telling them about ivermectin, and they go, oh, get me some. And I said, well, you can't anymore. The government wants to murder people. They want them to get sick. They must, because they banned something that works, and it's fixed up the COVID problem in Japan. Denmark's just called off the pandemic. There's no pandemic anymore. There's no mandates, nothing. You know, India's got the lowest figures with one of the biggest populations in the world because they use ivermectin. It's ridiculous. Japan went from 10,000 a day down to 16 in 2 weeks, just using ivermectin. Our government, no. It's a fucking joke. Sweden never had any lockdowns. They haven't got any worse death figures than any country in the world. They're just sort of average, and it's no lockdowns, no masks, no mandates, nothing. It's a joke. Alright, get onto that one if you like a Russian Imperial Stout. It's got a little bit of an unusual flavour compared to some. It was pretty heavy. It's got a little bit heavy alcohol taste, I'll say that. Some of them, they don't, you know, they don't taste like 11% or 10.5 or whatever. They might taste like 7 or 8. This one tastes like 10. It's got a little bit of a strong alcohol flavour. That would be the only thing against this one. And I'd say drink it really cold. Even though they say not to drink Imperial Stouts cold, I think this one would be better, even colder than I'm having it now. Leave it in the fridge for a good amount of time now. I've just come home with this, and it was in the fridge when I bought it, but it's, you know, sat around in the bag for bloody 50 minutes, back in the fridge for about 15 while I wolfed down some charcuatio, and now I'm into it. So yeah, not quite as cold as I like this one. Alright, probably more at the right temperature you should be drinking it, but anyway, pretty strong and oofty. Cheers everyone.